On page 101, we're going to answer questions 7, 8, 9, and 10. Number 7, the amount of seed a landscaper uses and the area of lawn covered have a proportional relationship. Complete the table. So what we see here is that there is a proportional relationship between the values in the table, which include the area covered in square feet and the ounces of seed in that area. So in the first ratio we are given in the table, we use 2 ounces of seed to cover 50 square feet. So the ratio is area, 50, to seed, 2, or a simplified ratio of 25 to 1. In the second column of the table, we have 3 ounces of seed for 75 square feet. So the 75 is the square feet on top, and the 3 is the ounces of seed that goes on the bottom. And when we simplify this, we simplify it by dividing both portions of that ratio by 3 to get the unit rate. And that unit rate, again, is 25 to 1. The last ratio from the table is 4 ounces for 100 square feet. So our ratio is 100 to 4, which provides for us a unit rate. When we divide both parts by 4, we get a unit rate of 25 to 1. So we can tell that this does indeed form that proportional relationship because all 3 ratios are equivalent to the unit rate 25 to 1. Now let's take a look at question number 8. Is the relationship between the number of slices of salami in a sandwich and the number of calories proportional? Explain. So they've given us a table and we have to determine if there is a proportional relationship here within the amounts based on slices of salami and calories. So we're going to be making a ratio to show these relationships from the table. And we're going to show this by using calories to slices as our ratio. So the first ratio is 66 calories in 1 slice. That already is a unit rate. Now let's take a look at the second ratio from the table, which is 96 calories for 2 slices of salami. How many calories would that be in just 1 slice? Well, divide 96 and 2 both by 2, and what do you get? If you said 48, you're correct. So this ratio is equal to 48 calories for 1 slice. The third ratio in the table tells us that 3 slices of salami is 126 calories in the sandwich. Again, I need to make a unit rate here out of that amount. So I'm going to divide 126 and 3 both by 3, and I get a ratio of 42 to 1. And then last but not least, we have 156 calories in the sandwich with 4 slices of salami. So the amount of calories in just 1 slice is what happens when we do 156 and 4 and we divide both of them by 4. And in this case, we get 39 calories for 1 slice of salami on the sandwich. When you look at these ratios, are they equivalent to each other? I don't think they are. If I look at these ratios here, each one of them produces a different unit rate. So this is not a proportional relationship. Now, you might be asking, how is this not proportional if we're just increasing the number of slices of salami? Well, remember, this is the calories in the sandwich. And what else goes on a sandwich besides just salami? Well, you probably have bread. You might have other meat. You might have some veggies or cheese. Veggies like lettuce or tomatoes. And all of these things add additional calories. Okay, and because those add calories to the sandwich, then the slices of salami is not going to be proportional to the calories in the entire sandwich. Now take a look at number 9. A wholesale club sells eggs by the dozen. Does the table show a proportional relationship between the number of dozens of eggs and the cost? So we're going to make ratios here that compare cost to dozens. So make those ratios. And compare the unit cost for just 1 dozen of eggs. Do that now on your paper. Pause the video while you do that, and then come back and let's check your answer. In this problem, it is proportional because we have the same unit rate for each of those ratios in the table. And what this unit rate tells me is that it costs $3.50 for 1 dozen of eggs. And last on this page, let's look at number 10. Does the table show a proportional relationship? If so, what is the value of y when x is 11? Well, we first have to make the determination if this is indeed a proportional relationship. And that proportion says that we want to put the y number on top of the x number in that ratio. We're always going to put the y number on the top. So in this table, we have the ratio of 64 to 4. We have the ratio of 125 to 5. We have a ratio of 216 to 6. And we have the ratio 1,000 to 10. So change each of these into those unit rates, and then let's make a determination if this is indeed a proportional relationship. Pause the video while you answer that, and then come back and check your work. In this problem, when you look at the unit rates, you'll notice that they are different for each of the ratios in the table. Therefore, this relationship is not proportional. So we can cross out the second part of the question because this only applies if it was a relationship, and this time it is not. So we do not need to find the value of y when x is 11, since this is not a proportional relationship. Our last 3 questions are on page 102. We're going to complete numbers 12, 13, and 15 on this page. Number 12. The height of a building is proportional to the number of floors. The figure shows the height of a building with 9 floors. And you can see those floors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 floors. And the height of that building is 135 feet. Write the ratio of the height of the building to the number of floors, then find the unit rate and explain what it means in this situation. Well, first of all, we're going to write a ratio of the height to the number of floors. So the height is 135 feet, and that is for 9 floors on the building. It then asks us to find the unit rate. So find the unit rate, and then we're going to explain what that means in this situation. Pause the video and try that, and then come back and check your answer. When finding the unit rate, you should have divided both parts of the ratio by 9. And in doing that, you get 15 feet as the top number of your ratio, and 1 floor, for the bottom of your ratio, which tells us that each floor of this building is 15 feet tall. So part B question asks, how tall would the building be if it had 15 floors? Well, in this case, I know that if I have 15 feet for one floor, if I can spell there, I want to know how many feet is that for 15 floors. So essentially what I'm doing is solving the equation for y. And this is a division problem right here. So I'm going to multiply both parts by 15. And when I do that, I get 15 times 15, or y equals 225 feet. Number 13. Do the two tables show the same proportional relationship between x and y? Explain how you know. Well, the first thing that we need to do is determine what the proportional relationship is in the first table, and then do the same thing for the second table. Then we can compare our results to see if we have the same thing. So let's take a look at table number 1. The three ratios in that table are 360 to 160, 1,125 to 500, and 2,700 to 1,200. So let's see if we can find the unit rate for each of these situations. Do that now on your paper and then come back and check your answer. Pause the video while you're working. For the first table, the unit rate is 2 25/100 to 1. Now let's do the same thing with the second table. Again, we're going to set up each of those ratios in a y over x format. And then we're going to find the unit rate for each of those ratios. Do this now on your paper, and then come back and check your answers. Pause the video while you work. For table number 2, you also get the unit rate of 2 25/100 to 1. So yes, both tables show the same proportional relationship. And that proportional relationship is 2 25/100 to 1. The last question is number 15 at the bottom of page 102. Which of the following statements about the table is true? Select all that apply. So you see over here that we have a table, and we are going to figure out which of these statements is true about this particular table. Now remember, we are looking for ratios in the form y over x. Let's look at our four choices. The table shows a proportional relationship. Well, if that's the case, then each one of these ratios would have to be equal. So do these have equal unit rates? Let's find out. So let's make a table of the y to x ratios and determine if these indeed are equivalent ratios. So as I do the division here, I'm looking to see what is that unit rate. So I'm taking each of these and dividing by that denominator number. And I do have to check all of these. Oops, I made a mistake. Hold on. Let me get my eraser out. That should not have been 125 thousandths to 1, that should have been, or to 12, that should have been 125 thousandths to 1 on that first one. Okay, so I fixed it. Now, I've got two ratios that are equal, but remember, all of the ratios in this table must be equivalent. So I have to still check every one of the ratios in this table. And so far, 3 of them are equal to each other. Now let's make sure the fourth one is, because if the fourth one is not, it is not a proportional relationship. But what I find out is that when I do that division, it is indeed a proportional relationship. So we're going to put, we're going to fill in that first box because that is true. Now let's look at the second statement. The second statement says, when x is 20, y is 2 55/100. Well, how could I determine that? Let's take a look at that unit rate. So I'm going to come down here for this one. Let's take a look at that unit rate. That unit rate is 125 thousandths to 1. And remember, that's the y number on top and the x number on bottom. So what I'm trying to do is make an equivalent ratio of what is the y number, that's this number right here, what is this number on the top when x is 20. So in order to solve that, I need to do this times 20. And I need to do the other ratio, this one right here, also times 20. So do that on your calculator and see what y would be equal to. And in this case, I get an answer of 2 5/10. Is that the same? And the answer is no. So that is false. We're going to leave that box empty. Let's look at the third statement. All the ratios y to x for related pairs of x and y are equivalent to 8. Well, is that what we got when we did our unit rates? Nope, we didn't get 8. We got 125 thousandths. So that is also false. And the last one says the unit rate of y to x for related pairs of x and y is 1/8. Well, 1/8 is the fraction form, and we have a decimal form. So can we change 1/8 into a decimal? And the answer is yes, of course we can. We can use division. So do 1 divided by 8 and tell me what you get on your calculator. Changing that fraction into a decimal, remember, involves division. And when we do that, we get 125 thousandths. So yes, do you see how each of these is equal to that same decimal? Then that means the unit rate is equivalent to that fraction, 1/8. Excellent job. Okay, so now you're ready to have some discussions in class. Be prepared to answer additional questions or to propose questions if there's something that you still need help with and don't understand. Once we finished our class discussion, or you've had time to work through any questions that you might have, then you'll be ready to try your assignment.